The Red Sox are back in the postseason for the first time since 2021. Holy cow, what a moment, what a walk-off. I mean, what a year this has been, man. We've been here every single post game, pretty much every single night this entire year. We've been through the ups and downs this year. The first half this year, you just didn't know what this team was going to do. You know, we were waiting for them to go on some kind of a run. They just couldn't find themselves. They just couldn't get it together this year in the first half. And then you made the Raffy trade, and people were thinking, what the heck is this team doing? What is going on with this organization? How do you trade the face of the franchise like that? And then they got themselves together, and they became a team just like I thought they were going to be. I remember that first game after the Raffy trade, and I'm like, there's something different about this team. And they just got it together. And yes, they lost Roman Anthony at the beginning of this month, but this is the group that they have. They found a way to get the job done. And here they are back in the postseason for the first time since 2021. Absolute pleasure watching this team this year. Yes, it was bumpy in the first half, but man, oh man. This was fun here tonight. And, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what it was. There's something about the Tigers when anytime you got the postseason in the mix, right? I mean, I'm not comparing this to 2013 when they won a World Series, but I couldn't help but think of that Game 6 when it was so tight, and in Victorino with the big grand slam there. And I don't know why. I was sort of getting those same feelings. I don't know. Maybe because it was just a coincidence. It's also the Tigers. You know what I mean, right? I was just getting that sort of a feeling this entire night. I don't know what it was. They fell down early. Kyle Harrison, he looked good right out of the gate. He started coming apart there. But there was something that was telling me, I'm like, you know what? They got a lot of baseball left here tonight. Something was in the air for me here tonight, and they kept clawing back. And that was the difference. That's the difference with this team. Right there, right here tonight. You just saw it right in front of you. In the first half of the year, when they were under 500, that team would not have come back. They would have not have found a way to get the job done. And this was the difference here tonight. Absolute pleasure. I mean, my goodness. Of all my years, being a Red Sox fan, I'm not trying to sound like, Gandalf the Grey, where I've been going to every game since, 1950. I'm not saying that, but seen a lot of Red Sox games. I've been through the ups. I've been through a lot of the downs. This was fun here tonight, man. And I'm still processing it, to be honest with you. And who better than Cedar Rafaela getting the walk-off knock here tonight? I mean, what a giant step forward he's taken this year. And of course they do it in the greens. Of course they do. I mean, it's just the way it is, death, taxes, the Red Sox walk off in the greens. That's just how it is this year, man. Man, just fun to watch. It's been a pleasure watching this team here, going through so many ups and downs, man. And here they are celebrating on the field, and they're back in the postseason. I'm very excited for it. And you know what? When you got a guy like Garrett Crochet at the top of the rotation, when you got guys that can make things happen in the lineup, sure, would you feel a lot better right now, with Roman in this lineup? Absolutely. But hey, they've shown you here in the last couple of weeks, maybe they got it. And who knows, maybe he could end up coming back at some point if they can make that run. Just awesome to see. Awesome to see here tonight. And I want to thank all of you, for everyone that's tuned in for all of the post-game shows this year. I wouldn't have been able to do it without all of you, without all of you joining in. Anytime we had a West Coast game at 1 a.m, you all made this very fun, and I'm glad we all get to experience the postseason together, and I'm glad we're going to be able to experience that after everything we've gone through this year. Just awesome to see. Awesome to see a lot of familiar faces here in the chat tonight. How we all doing? Welcome to the show here tonight. We're going to break this game down. I'm not going to get into big postseason preview here tonight. I'm going to save that for, the next few days here. Yes, they have wrapped it up here. You got to see kind of what else shakes out. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I was getting ready for the show here tonight. Haven't fully kept up with all the scores. I saw Aaron Judge hit another home run. I'm not sure what's going on with the Blue Jays Yankees. So there's still things to be worked out here. But cool to see. Cool to see. Red Sox diehard is in the chat. He's saying it's loud here. Where are you, my friend? Are you in Fenway Park? Are you outside of Fenway Park? Let us know. That was also the Red Sox 12th walk-off win here this year that leads the majors. A lot of walk-offs for the Red Sox, man. And that's it just goes to show how many ups and downs this team has had. So, how we all doing, everybody? Let's get into this one, man. Again, I'm still processing this. I was just freaking out a second ago. Got to get back to the fact that I'm very happy for Cedar Rafaela. You know, this guy's had a lot of big moments this year. He's got ice in his veins. The moment is not too big for him, and I'm very excited to see what he can do in the postseason. If he's given a chance to come up big in the postseason, some guys, they just got that gene, man. They just got something inside of them where they just lock in these big moments. And with Cedar, he's a big-time player, man, and I'm so happy for him this year. He's taken a big step. Very excited. Very excited to see what they can do. Again, we are going to get more into the postseason preview in a couple of days, right? Tonight, we're just going to save this. We're going to enjoy the moment. We'll go over the game here tonight. I'll take a look at what you're all saying here in the chat here tonight. We're going to have some fun here over the next 30 minutes or so. Everybody, if you can, just hit that like button for me. If you are finding us for the first time, subscribe if you're new. You're going to want to subscribe because we are going to be keeping track of everything in the postseason. However far they go, you're going to want to be here for every moment here on Monster Territory, brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Let's get into it here. And also, I see you in the chat, Red Sox diehard, obviously Cedar Rafaela with a big moment, but how about Masataka Yoshida? They said it multiple times during the broadcast here tonight. He's looking like an X factor, and I talked about this, over the last couple of days, with what he was doing in Toronto with that bat waking up this past month. He's come alive. Yes, he was not looking very good. He was not looking very good, but you got to remember, he did come back from that shoulder surgery, right? And it's going to take guys some time to get back into a rhythm. And I was wondering, man, I don't know, does he got it? Does he not? But after what you've seen from him over the last couple of weeks, he's heating up at the right time, man. And the way his bat has been, you got to feel good about that for the postseason, right? Big night here for Yoshida. How about Nate Eaton tonight, bringing the legs? And that's another thing I love about this team, man. You got guys that just bring different things to the table, right? Obviously, Jarren Duran, he's got that speed, of course. But, Nate Eaton, a guy where, the guy's super talented, super athletic, but they found a role for him on this team. And that was it right there. Just being aggressive on the base pass and then, moving over to third base on that steal. There was a throwing error there. It got away. That's just the kind of player that he is. And I love that, so many guys on this team, they just bring something different to the table. Great for Nate Eaton tonight. And last shout out, of course. We would not be here right now without this bullpen here tonight. This bullpen was fantastic. And I've been saying it all year. This bullpen, I think, is underrated. I've been saying it. Yes, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock, great 1-2 punch, and they've had their moments this year with this bullpen. They have, right? But when you look at the numbers, when you take a look at the overall numbers, the Red Sox rank very well when it comes to just everything in the bullpen. It's a very good bullpen, and you saw them firsthand here tonight. Garrett Whitlock, this guy's absolute nails, and I'm going to keep saying it. I was one of these guys where I was saying, why are we taking this guy out of the bullpen? He was so good back in 2021. He's back where he needs to be. Well, obviously, he's been back where he needs to be, but you just saw it firsthand how valuable he is in that spot. And, Chapman, ran into a little trouble there. Everyone had to hold their breath for a second, but he's been so good this year. He was able to lock it down to give the Red Sox the opportunity there. Justin Slayton, Steven Matz. Goodness gracious. These guys just really held it down. And I still can't get over Whitlock, man. How many times has this guy come in and struck out the side? How many times this year? I got to try and find that number. Even Greg Weissert coming in looking solid. and he's been a guy he's had quite a few bumps here in the second half. They're coming alive here at a great time. Very excited to see it. Very excited to see it. Barry in the chat says, "Nuff said." Nuff said. Sadam Rafaela, man. How about that? Everybody, let's dive into it. I feel like I can just keep rambling. I can, just keep yapping over here, but we're going to break this one down. Alex Cora is talking to the entire group right now. They're about to celebrate. Is that green? Do they got the green? What do you call that? It's the tarp, right? To protect the clubhouse from all the champagne. They're about to let loose in there, man. You can just tell these guys are about to go crazy here tonight. Also, one more shout out. Sorry, I'm so excited and my potato brain is just leaving a lot off the table here. How about Nate Lowe here tonight? I mean, Nate Lowe missing a home run by mere inches. I mean, heck, even get back to Sadon. He missed a home run earlier in the game by mere inches. But Nate Lowe coming alive. And he made a great play defensively here tonight. Man, oh man. Anthony in the chat, you said, "Thank you for the coverage, Robbie. The dedication is much appreciated." Anthony, I appreciate you coming out, my friend. I appreciate all of you coming out this year. We've been here for every game, every post game. We've been doing it. And it's been a grind. This is my first time doing this. I've had my main channel on YouTube talking all things baseball, but a dream of mine for when I first started YouTube, I wanted to talk about the Red Sox, and I decided I wanted to go more towards talking everything Major League Baseball. And I'm honored, I'm blessed to be able to talk Red Sox here every single night, and I'm very thankful for Foul Territory for giving me that opportunity. But this wouldn't happen without all of you. You guys have been amazing. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers in the first year. I think it took me a couple of years over on the main channel to get to 5,000. And we've done it here, almost done it here in less than a year. So I thank you to all of you for all the support this year. Okay, I'm rambling now. Let's get to it. Enough of me yapping. Let's take a break for a second. We do have a couple of words from our sponsors here tonight. Let's get to the first one.
FT Fam Superpower believes that every human has 100-year potential, and they're going to help you get there. I like the sweatshirt, Eric Kratz, and I also love the way that Superpower takes care of its members.
Yeah. You go get your lab test, you become the best you. You be a member of this group, and your test will come back. It's unlocking things that you didn't know about yourself. This is stuff that players used all the time. You can do it now too.
Exactly, Kratz. How many of you have gone to a doctor's appointment? You get the classic, "Oh, you're fine," or "Just drink more water." No real data, no real game plan. With one simple blood draw with Superpower and over 100 biomarkers, that is way more than what you'd usually get, and it unlocks so much more about your own body. Head to superpower.com to learn more and lock in the special $199 price while it lasts. After you sign up, they'll ask you how you heard about them. Please make sure to mention the FT podcast to support the show. Your biology decoded, your blueprint activated with Superpower.
Alrighty, let's get to it here. Wow, I forgot about the noise that I got for when we talk about the pitching. I forgot it goes woo, and that just scared the crap out of me. My goodness. How are we doing here, everybody? Welcome back. Couple of comments here in the chat. Cora pushing all the right buttons tonight, says Julio. I mean, Cora, listen, he's had a couple of moments this year, right, where, you have wondered about some of the calls. But in the end, like you said, he did push the right buttons here tonight. He pulled Harrison, I think, just in time, right? He put the right guys in the right spots. It worked out this year. Cora, I think he managed a good game here tonight. Also, John Henry was there. We had a John Henry sighting. We actually had a John Henry sighting in Toronto yesterday. My goodness, John Henry's even coming out, everybody. He's coming out from hanging out in his mansion with his silk pajamas. I mean, John Henry's is even getting revved up here. I'm glad that, say what you will about, John Henry, right? Obviously, sure, over the last few years, the lack of spending, I get it. But I'm glad he's coming out this year, and you're seeing him and hearing about him more often, right? Going back to having that meeting, with Rafi before the trade ended up going down, right? I think he was even watching something. He was watching a game, or what was he? He was on his yacht. I think he was watching WEEI or something. I don't remember. Anyway, John Henry, nice to see the guy at least coming out, and he's here at Fenway Park here tonight. Gotta love it. So, but again, hey, at the end of the day, he signed off on Bregman coming to Boston. And Bregman, massive pickup this year. I know he hasn't been as great in the second half, but shout out to him this year. I think Bregman also, he just really brought a different dynamic to this clubhouse. The last couple of times, the couple of times I've been to Tampa this year to, try and score some interviews and pregame, I don't know. I've just noticed Bregman, right? He's stands right there behind the cage during BP while the guys are rotating in and out. You kind of feel like that presence with him a little bit, and he's definitely brought something. As I was there the couple of times, he's out there, he's walking around, he's talking to all the guys, Really liked what Bregman's brought to the table this year. Massive signing. Obviously, cold in the second half for the most part, but hey, in the postseason, I'll take Alex Bregman any day of the week. So let's get to it here. I'm yapping again, everybody. I am yapping. Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison's on the screen. Let's talk about Kyle Harrison. He looked good out of the gate here tonight. Lots of fastballs, slurves early. He got into... Hold on, let me backpedal a little bit there. The stuff looked good out of the gate, but he did get into some trouble right away in the first inning. Jomani Jones, Torkelson with the walk, Glaber with the base hit, bases loaded. Perez, Green, striking those guys out. And then he got Ibanez to line out to Duran and left. Great catch from Jaron Duran in the first inning there. So Harrison was able to work around that. Second inning, got a couple of strikeouts to Meadows and Jones, both on fastballs. The fastball looked really solid here tonight until he kind of ran into the trouble that he got into in the fourth inning, right? Bases loaded, no outs again. Ibanez with a walk, Dingler with a base hit. Meadows, credit to him, man. He laid down a great bunt. And then Javier Baez with the base hit made it 1-0. Jones coming up again, that made it 3-0. And that was it here tonight for Harrison, right? 3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned, 6 Ks, 3 walks. I'm curious about Kyle Harrison in the postseason. We talked about this, right? Justin Wilson, he's been struggling a little bit here in the month of September, right? Had a bad outing yesterday, giving up the grand slam in Toronto. I wonder if Kyle Harrison could find some... I'm very curious to see what this postseason roster is going to look like. A few guys I got my eyes on. But I do wonder if Harrison could be maybe, again, you always got to be, when it comes to starters and relievers, right? It's not as bang as you might think. Oh, just put a starter in the bullpen, right? I think with him, maybe he could have a role as a lefty coming out of that bullpen. You saw the stuff here tonight. I'm going to keep my eye on that. I would not mind Harrison having some role on the staff in the postseason. But stuff-wise, look good. I've talked about this. Sure, we beat the Tigers here tonight. But this is a good team, and I get it. They've been cold, but they were right there, man, right until the end. This is a gritty team. Let's see if they could find a way to get into the postseason. But I'll tell you right now, if they do find a way into the postseason, they're going to battle you like that here. They're not going to be an easy out by any means, no matter how cold they've been. So, anyway, Kyle Harrison, that ended up being it for him. But one more huge shout out for this bullpen tonight. Oh, my goodness, this bullpen. Man, oh, man. Steven Matz, Greg Weissert, locking it down. Seventh inning, Zach Kelly, he came in, he gave a base hit to Torque, got a big double play. How about Zach Kelly, man? Sure, a bit of a bump there in Toronto, but he's looked a lot better since coming back up. He got the big double play there. Eighth inning, Whitlock just absolutely filthy, man, striking out the side. Dingler, Meadows, Baez. I can't wait to see what Whitlock can do in the postseason, man. He's been so good this year. One of the best relievers in baseball. I think you could make the argument that Whitlock could be... there's a few guys that could get this spot as the most underrated player for the Red Sox. I feel like Whitlock, at least to us, might feel more than underrated. I feel like maybe, I don't know. I'm looking at it from the lens of everyone watching Major League Baseball in general. I wonder if Whitlock could get that title as most underrated because he has been so good. I think there is an argument for it because Chapman, he's gotten a lot of the attention with the season that he's had, but Whitlock has been dominant behind him. Obviously, a couple other guys, Romy, I think could absolutely be in that spot too. Anyway, he's been so good. So good. And then Chapman for the ninth inning. Yeah, ran into a little trouble there. Justin Henry Malloy with a double. Torres moved him over on the ground ball to the right side. Then he got Perez on a strikeout slider outside. Torkelson strikeout on the slider down and in. Chapman here, give this guy a couple of days. Give him a rest. He's earned it. A phenomenal season for Aroldis Chapman. I want that guy fresh. Let's get to the offense. Here. And you know what, actually, before we do get to the offense, let's play the last sponsor for tonight, and then we'll be smooth sailing until the end of the show. So I'll be right back to talk about the offense.
Todd Father, you and me grew up in Jersey. We liked to collect cards, but the way the process got was ridiculous. You open up a pack. There's a bunch of cards you don't care about. Then you want to get certain ones graded. Takes forever, right? Then you want to maybe sell one. It's such a to-do. Arena Club has been the solution for us.
Arena Club has been a solution for everybody. You go online, go to Arena Club, and you check out what they have. Put a little cash down, and you might get one of the best cards that you've ever seen in your life, an autographed card. And guess what? If you don't like the card, easily you could sell it back and make a little cash. You never know what to expect. It's a cool way of doing it. You're going to get a surprise every time. And if you're into cards, this is something you really need to get into.
Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul and use code FOUL like Todd Father's talking about with those slab packs. Every pack is a grail. That's at least 20x the price of the pack. Check it out.
Alrighty, let's get to the offense, shall we? In the second inning, Massa had the base hit to right, and then Nate Lowe, Nathaniel Lowe, man, what a pickup he's been. Had the Oppo double off the monster, missed a home run. Holy cow, he just missed a home run. They brought up Adrian Gonzalez a couple of times, right? Nate Lowe, he has, been a guy that can go Oppo a lot, and that's exactly what I want to see from Nate Lowe right there. Would have loved the home run in that spot, but it is what it is. And then Wilyer had the hard ground out. Glaber made a good play to get him. Wilyer Abreu, he got really frustrated here tonight. He had a couple of spots where he wasn't able to come through. Listen, here with Wilyer, let's just get these ABs over the last couple of games and try to get in some kind of a rhythm. It stinks that he missed so much time. I'm hoping he can find a way to get into a rhythm over the next few days. We'll see, but you could see the frustration from Wilyer here tonight. But, hey, he has been showing some decent contact here over the last few games since he's come back. Some hard-hit balls along the way. But Wilyer, that guy's a gamer, man. He absolutely wants it. You saw the frustration with him tonight. In the fourth inning, the Tigers, they scored 3 in the top half. And Casey Mize, holy cow, Casey Mize was settling in here tonight. This guy was attacking the Red Sox. He was pounding the strike zone right around, I believe, 52, 53% of the time in zone. And just getting just ahead in counts, putting away hitters, had 8 strikeouts. They just couldn't do anything against him. Remember, this guy was a first-round pick. I mean, back, what was it, 2018, 2017? Can't remember. But they just couldn't do anything. Now, the fourth inning, they were able to battle back. Bregman had the double there. And getting back to Bregman, we have been seeing the hard contact. We've been seeing it. I feel like he's getting so close. Let me just check with Bregman here tonight. What was the final line? He went 1 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. I feel like he's getting close. He's getting close, man. Massa had the base hit after him. That made it 3-1. Seventh inning, Massa with another base hit. He had 3 hits here tonight. Seti with a double, just missing a home run. Nate Lowe, again, making hard contact, deep sac fly to center field. I thought maybe he got into it. Just ran out of juice. That made it 3-2. Eighth inning, Narvaez with the bloop single. Eaton pinch running, stealing second. Throw got away on the steal attempt. That got him over to third. Duran with the base hit tied it up. And listen, also Jarren Duran this year. Tough first half, all the talk there. He was one of the big trade targets. The Padres, it was the worst kept secret in baseball. They wanted Jarren Duran this year. He was coming up with other teams at the deadline. But in the end, the Red Sox said, no, we want to keep this guy. And good thing they kept him. With Roman going down. Could you imagine if they traded Duran and then Roman went down? Oh, my goodness. Ugh, what a nightmare that would be. But Duran, he's been great in the second half. Very happy to see what Duran's brought to the table, helping the Red Sox get here back to the postseason. And then the ninth inning. Let's just play the video again, shall we? Special moment, man. Special moment. Special season. It's nice to be back. It's very nice to be back. We are going to wrap it up right there on NESN. If you are watching on NESN, thank you so much for coming out here for tonight's show. That's been another huge, huge thing this year, partnering up with NESN. We were first on the NESN Nation channel, and now we're on NESN 360. Big thank you to NESN this year for giving me the chance, my doofus self, my potato brain, for even including me in the programming this year. It's been an absolute honor watching the Red Sox games growing up on NESN, and just to be a part of NESN, it's pretty crazy. So if you are watching with us on NESN, thank you. Thank you for all the support this year. We are going to wrap it up on YouTube in the next few minutes, so if you want to see the rest of the show, come on out. But again, thank you for this year, and we'll be back tomorrow night and Sunday as well, and the postseason. So we'll see you then. But everybody on YouTube, let's finish this off here. Seti wrapping it up here tonight in usual Seti fashion. King Seti coming on through. But we do have a bit of news. A bit of news to get to. And we're going to get, I think, a lot of roster talk here in the next couple of days. So be on the lookout for postseason roster news. I would follow Chris Cotillo, Sean McAdam, right? Chris Smith. I would follow those guys from Mass Live. Obviously, Alex Spear, guys like that. So make sure, I'm sure all of you are following them anyway, but definitely you're going to see a lot of roster stuff in the next couple of days. John, Luis Perales on Sunday. Was there a report on Perales? Did I miss that? I wasn't going to talk about him. But we do have an update on Marcelo Meyer. Marcelo Meyer, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. Are my buttons going to work? My buttons are not working here. Oh, no, my buttons are working. Here we go. Taking a little bit to load. There we go. Marcelo Meyer. He is starting to get into some baseball activities. Remember, he had the wrist injury, and he got surgery on the wrist. But he's been taking some grounders. He's been doing some throwing, some dry swings. Outside shot, he could return if the Red Sox make a deep playoff run. I would imagine, with the wrist, listen, I'm not an expert on wrists. I'm obviously not a doctor by any means. My doofus self is here sitting at my desk. My goodness. But I just know when it comes to a wrist in baseball, when you're swinging a bat for a living, you got to be very careful with the wrists, right? I don't know, man. I have a hard time seeing the Red Sox activating him. Let's say they got to the World Series. I'm knocking on all the wood here, but let's say they got there. I don't know. Are you activating Marcelo Meyer over the next month? I don't know. Because, listen, yes, you would love to try and win it all this year, but you also have a future shortstop here. So, I don't know. I'd be very surprised if Marcelo Meyer ended up coming back. Now, Roman, I could see Roman coming back, right? The oblique, he's pain-free right now. We'll see if the baseball activities start to ramp up here, or not ramp up, but at least start baseball activities. The last that we got on Roman was a couple of days ago. He's feeling better moving around, but still hasn't been cleared. Again, the oblique, it has been, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks since then. It's almost been a full month. That's just going to take time. They're not going to rush that. Obviously, he's the future of the franchise. You're not going to mess around. But I think it's more likely you're going to see Roman come back compared to Marcelo Meyer. We got some news on Dustin May. I don't know if anyone wants to hear anything about Dustin May up to this point. But he did throw 2 innings of live batting practice in Fort Myers just a few days ago. He was expected to face hitters yesterday. I guess he did that. I don't know. I didn't see anything. But it says here, things seem to be trending in the right direction for the righty to be an option for the postseason roster. He's not starting a postseason game, I'll tell you that. You're not seeing Dustin May going out there for the first inning. I'll tell you that right now. But I don't know, man. Can you trust him for a bullpen spot? I don't know. I'd be surprised if Dustin May came back. I don't know. That's just me. It is what it is. But that's the news that we got. I mean, did we have any? I saw someone. Where did it go? I saw someone say Luis Perales on Sunday. I mean, are they going to maybe bring some guys up here for the last couple of games to get some playing time? I mean, they're going to rest some guys over the next couple of days. And that's what I love about getting this clinch here tonight, is that you can kind of just start thinking about that wild card round, which is going to start on Tuesday, by the way. Man, some guys just going to get some rest. I would imagine you're going to see the whole bench playing over the next few days, right? You're going to see David Hamilton in that lineup. You're going to see all these guys. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Christian Campbell comes back up. Maybe he gets a few ABs to end his season. I would not be surprised at all about that. I do know, I saw the report recently that they got some guys basically ready to go in case they needed them. But, I would imagine Eaton, he's probably going to get starts here over the next few days. Sogard, you're going to see him. And then down to the minors, do they maybe bring up Yo Stinson? I wouldn't be surprised, right? Christian Campbell, wouldn't be surprised to see him. Luis Perales, could he get it? We've been hearing the reports that maybe he could get an opportunity. Why not? You got a couple of days here, right? Could you see Giovanni Moran back? Isaiah Campbell? I wouldn't be surprised to see those guys, But I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for it. Man, oh, man, I am pumped up to be back in the postseason. Pumped up. It's been 4 years. 2021 was fun. That was like the early days of me starting up on YouTube. And over the last few years, we haven't been able to have that taste. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back. We had the big off season this past winter, bringing in Bregman, bringing in Crochet, trading for Narvaez, bringing in Chapman, big off season. The deadline, sure. Would you have liked for the Red Sox to, have someone like Merrill Kelly at this point? Yeah. In the end, the Rangers, they gave up their prospects to acquire him, and they're not going to the postseason. So it's a bummer that you don't have someone like him, but you got to remember too, you might have had to give up someone like a Connolly early to get him. And Early has looked very good in the few starts that he's had. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, a lackluster deadline. But here they are. They found a way. They got it done, even without Roman. What a year it's been. What a year. Ups and downs, drama, good baseball, bad baseball. That's what it's like to be a Red Sox fan. You wake up one day, things are going great, everything's awesome, and all of a sudden you get punctured in the face, and you're like, what the heck just happened? And then you bounce back and you figure it out, right? Typical year of being a Red Sox fan. I'm glad we're having a good moment here tonight. but then again, the analytical side of me, I'm very glad they got a couple of days here to get a bit of rest, gear up. That also, we haven't even looked at the standings. I mean, hold on, I got to go to the standings here. I was about to wrap things up right there. Let's see what's going on here. Look at that picture on the front page on MLB.com. Man, oh man, you got to love that. The Red Sox walking it off. And I just love that it's in the greens, Here we go. Let's take a look. What's going on with the wild card? My buttons are not working. Of course my buttons are not working right now. But the Blue Jays winning here tonight. The Yankees also winning here tonight. So they have wrapped up. I mean, they've already wrapped up a postseason spot, but they're right there for the division. I believe the Blue Jays hold the tiebreaker. I think I saw that right. Let's double check that really quick. Against the Yankees. Yes, the Blue Jays hold the tiebreaker. So the Yankees, they got a couple of games to get out in front. So that division is not over by any means at the time of this show. The Astros, they are playing right now. So the Astros, that was another thing. I want to bring this up again because, or not bring this up again, but I was thinking about it earlier. I was really hoping the Red Sox were going to clinch here tonight. And, obviously hoping to clinch, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be because the Astros lost. And two reasons. One, obviously, it feels so lame when you clinch when another team loses, right? Especially if you lose on the same night. I think that happened back in 2017. Is that 2017 or 2016? That happened. Remember the Yankees? They walked it off, I believe, off of Kimbrel. How did that happen again? I can't remember. But I remember the Red Sox, they got in even though they lost on that night. But I was really hoping the Astros were not going to be the reason that we clinched. And another reason, because I was going to go live no matter what if they did clinch. Whether they won here tonight or if they lost and then the Angels beat the Astros. I was hoping it was not going to be that way because that's lame. And two, it would have been a West Coast game. It would have been late. And I'm done with the West Coast games this year. It's 1 a.m. Listen, I need my sleep, okay? I didn't want to do that here tonight. So I'm glad the Red Sox got it done. Thank you to the Red Sox for saving my sleep schedule here tonight. But Tigers-Astros, we'll see what the Astros do here tonight. If the Astros win, they're now tied with the Tigers for that third wild card. And let's actually pull up. Let's pull up here the Tigers-Astros tiebreaker. So the Tigers are 4-2 against the Astros. So if they were to tie, the Tigers would get in. But let's check on the Central. They're tied with, luckily for the Tigers, the Guardians also lost here tonight. So they're still tied for the Central. So it's chaotic right now. It's chaotic, right? Now, I'll also say this. Hold on. I might have to backtrack here a second because I just thought of something, right? So, for the Red Sox, let me just double check. They're 2 up. So, if the Red Sox lose the final 2 and the Tigers win the final 2, well, so if the Tigers... Oh, man, there's so much that goes into it because I believe the Tigers, it's now 3-1 with the Tigers. Let's check on that again. So if the Red Sox and the Tigers were to finish tied, then the Tigers would get that second wild card. Yeah, so the Red Sox would have to win the final 2, and then it comes down to the American League record. And I cannot do the math right now. I'm not going to do that. So, but you do know you have the tiebreaker with the Guardians. So there's still seeding to be worked out here. Very likely the Red Sox are going to end up as the 5th seed, the second wild card. I mean, you're in a good spot for that, but you still want to try and get a win. Let's get a win here in the next couple of days. Yes, I want to rest guys, but let's wrap up this 5th seed. So if that is going to be the way, then you're looking at either the Blue Jays or the Yankees, depending on how that wraps up. The Yankees are playing great baseball right now. Very good baseball. Do you want to go up against the Yankees right now in the Bronx? I mean, I know that would get us all revved up. Hey, whatever. I'll go. I'm okay with going up against whoever at this point. But with what you just did against Toronto, I mean, you're looking good there. So I don't know. We'll see. There's got a couple of days here to see how things work out. But everybody, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up right there. I feel like I'm just yapping at this point. I'm rambling. My potato brain is we're all over the place right now. So, again, thank you to all of you for all the support this year. Thank you for coming out this year, for all the post-game shows. Obviously, we still have more to go here, but the fact that we got a clinch here tonight, I'm glad I got to experience that with all of you. So thank you. I really am thankful for that. I'm very appreciative of all of you. Really, I mean that. If you can, just hit the like button for me on the way out. That's all I ask. And if anyone's new, subscribe. Again, we're very close to 5,000 subscribers. If we could hit 5K by the time everything is said and done here for the 2025 season, whether that's how far they go, whatever it is, if we can hit 5K, that would be amazing for a first year of a YouTube channel. So, Oscar, who's pitching for the Tigers tomorrow? I was about to get out of here, Oscar. You beat me to the punch. We do have to. I forgot. I'm so excited over the clinch. I forgot to almost look at the standings. I forgot to almost look at Game 2 for tomorrow. Well, it's Chris Paddock going for Game 2, and then Connolly Early on the bump going up against him. He's looking for a bounce back. He wasn't as sharp against the Rays his last time out. He got pulled a little early. Cora was really trying to utilize that bullpen. He was going for that win. So let's see what Early can do here against the Tigers. And then, I mean, if you're in a situation they've clinched now. So, again, you're looking at seeding that could, I'm not sure what the Red Sox are thinking. Giolito is slated to go on Sunday. At this point, Tarek Skubal is going to be starting on Sunday. I don't see how the Tigers don't start Skubal on Sunday. I mean, unless they can figure this out here tomorrow. I don't know. I think you're going to have to go Skubal on Sunday. I don't. Unless, it depends. I guess we got to see out tomorrow. I think no matter what, they're probably going to have to go with Skubal. I don't know. This is all confusing. I hate how there's so many teams that there's tiebreakers and whatever else. I don't know, man. Bull in the chat. I'm just happy we made the playoffs, man. It'll be fun. Let's see what happens. I know we're talking about all these scenarios. I'm just happy we're in the postseason again. Who cares? Who cares? Bring on whoever. You can't stop the Sox. Everybody, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow for more post-game coverage. I'll see you then.